to me, Stephen Lyons. At the moment, we're working together with my wife on a small company, APC Cardiovascular. We sales, marketing and distribution for medical devices into the UK NHS predominantly. But it wasn't always like that. I have had my time in big corporates as well and spent 20 years working for some names you might have heard of, Johnson & Johnson being one. But it got to a stage, probably around about 12 years ago, where we needed to take that leap of faith. And I think Sharon put it very nicely earlier on about taking that jump across the gap. And we did. We stepped out of our nice, comfy lives, with corporate incomes and the car and all the things that go with it, and stepped out into working for ourselves. Just my wife and myself, initially doing some consulting, and then latterly we ended up being able to entice some investors to back us to buy a business. And since then, the last 8 years, I must say, working for myself and my wife, flexibility has been the best years of our lives. We've had so much fun, bringing my girls up, being there every night, or mostly every night, to help with that and being part of the family rather than being away and being, well, basically making money for other people. And now we make money for ourselves, which is great, and we have the opportunity to invest that into the company and into the business, the people that work in the company as well. And I think it's the family feel of the small business that I really enjoy. So that's a little bit about me. I'm just looking around, and I'm fairly sure. Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm fairly sure I am the minority of one, the white bloke in the room. I'm fairly sure of that. Yes, but I must say thank you ever so much for making me feel just so welcome and part of the gang. So that's been lovely. Thank you very much for that. And I hope that with my presentation, which is in two halves, I've got a bit at the beginning, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to give you all a job, if you're interested, that is, of course. And then I'll explain a little bit more about the excitement about working in a small, medium-sized business. So, I've got my scribe here at the front. Rex is going to take some notes in a second for me. Right. So, there was a little poll taken earlier on, show of hands. Who's currently in employment? Excellent. Hands up who wants to be in employment? And is currently in employment. Okay, good. So there was one of the exercises that Sharon did earlier on, and just a few minutes ago, I think I've just now finished drying the last of the tears from my eyes. It was hilarious. I did enjoy being told off a lot, which is a bit silly. Not sure I like that bit about myself. But what you did there is you started to form goals. Goals are really important. They set you in a specific direction. And what I wanted to do was just help build on that a little bit. There we go. My picture about goals. And we also had a theme about having a goal, and when you get there, I'm here. It doesn't happen like that. You talk about getting to the top of one mountain, there's always another mountain you can see from the top of the other one. And it's onwards and upwards. Life's the journey, let's enjoy it along the way. But it's not necessarily about hitting a goal. They're things you achieve on the way. And that's why I chose the compass, because it sets you in a direction. Now, you all, I think, started filling those sheets out. You dared not really, had you, with Sharon? So I'm hoping that you've started to create some goals. And I'm going to ask you all a question. What skills, abilities, and resources do you all have that allowed you to start writing down goals? What were your skills, abilities, and resources that allowed you to start writing down your goals? Absolutely. So you've got to have the right equipment. Reckon you got that right equipment? What else did you need? What's up in here? The ability to process information, absolutely. So a bit of intelligence needed in that one. You've got the passion and the desire, something you can visualise as well. Oh, that's another one. Visualise, education. Anything else? Sorry, over here. Okay, you're going to have the skill to write. So skills are important. Excellent. So now we've got the goal. What do we need next? Motivation. Absolutely. Write that one down. And we're going to put the plan together. My goal, here, I want to be over there. So the plan is, I'm going to run across like this. A little bit of Michael McIntyre moment there. And you end up here. That's the plan. How often in your life does that straight line plan work out? Not very often. We'll come back to that in a second. But what abilities do you need to plan? Foresight. Absolutely. That ability to be able to visualise a future state, that foresight is absolutely key. And what do you need to have that foresight? What's the process going on in here?
Vision.
Vision. Brilliant.
Dream.
Decision making, because there's always options, isn't there? I could go this way, I could go that way. You've got to make a decision. Otherwise you end up, what's that word I was just talking to somebody about? Procrastinating. I don't know which way to go, so I'll not do anything. Got a good list there already, haven't we? And then, you've got your plan, you've got your goal. Oh, that's a good one. Be able to have a contingency, a backup plan. But you're standing there. What's the first thing you've got to do? First step. What stops us from making the first step?
Yeah.
Wow. Did we get that one? Fear, absolutely. And that's rooted in so many different sorts of things. What, fear of what? Give me an example.
Rejection.
Fear of success, right, okay. So did you get some of those? The fear of failure, fear of success, being in the spotlight. We all get a bit shy sometimes. Me, for sure. But that fear is a huge thing. So what have you got to be to take that first step? Brave. You've got to have courage. This is brilliant. So we've taken that first step, and then we hit reality. Did I go back? There it is, that's reality. You're all over the place. It's not, I want to go over, no, I'm going to go up here for a minute. No, I'm going to go backwards a bit. And that's reality. God laughs in the face of plans. This is the reality. So you've got to keep what? Focused. Absolutely. You've got to keep focused on what else? You're going forwards and then you're going backwards. I still want to get over there. Learning along the way. Brilliant. Determination. These are all fantastic. I'm going to put these together later and send them to you all. So you've got your target, but then somebody comes and puts this brick wall between you and there. What are your options? Sorry? Well, we can run up against it and try and bash it down. And what do we need to have that? Resilience, strength. But what else can we do? So go over it. So that's okay if this wall is down here. But what happens if it's 20 feet high? What do you need? Support, people, a ladder, just some way to get up and over it. What's another way to get to the other side? Go around it, absolutely. You're now starting to get creative. There's not just one way through this. And what's a really hard way? Yeah, we're not doing going back. Going through it's hard. We can even go under it. We could dig and go under it. There's the creative bit. Oh, write creative down as well. Put my name against it. Oh, So, now herein lies the ability to take your life skills and turn them into abilities that are valuable in the workplace. So I promised you a job, but what do you need to do to get a job? Sorry? Apply. I thought you said cry then. Exactly. You need to have an interview, at least one. So we're going to have an interview in the room, and I'd like everybody to stand up, please. It worked well for Sharon, so I'm going to pitch the idea. Good, right. So, of all that big long list there, they can distill down into a few things. And throughout my career, I've probably interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people, employed at least 100 people. But it always comes down to 4 key cornerstones: intelligence, creativity, passion, and resilience. And I think all those words have been used in the last 10 minutes. So I want you all to stay standing if you can think of a time in your life where you've had to use your intelligence to unravel a knotty problem, to figure something out. It could be a problem at work, it could be a problem with a relationship. So stay standing if you've had to use your intelligence to figure something out. Not lost anybody yet. Good. The second part of this, we talked about being creative. How to problem solve using your intelligence, but then be creative in how you bring that to life. So now, think of a situation in your life, you're thinking, where you've been creative. Not just the artistic creativity, although that's really powerful as well. I was speaking to somebody earlier on about using creativity to work through identity, for example, which was a really good solution there. But using your creativity to get something done. Everybody's still standing. Stay standing if you can remember being passionate about something or someone, and you wouldn't let anything get in your way. I see I'm going to have to get myself a bigger office. And the last thing is the resilience. Now, at the moment, there's lots of discussions. In fact, IOD this week has got a whole event on the subject of resilience. But I think it's something that's, since God was a boy, resilience has been a key part of success. We always come across barriers. Other people have different ideas of what we should be doing. They try and get in the way. They put those brick walls up. We've got to be resilient to get through. So stay standing if you've had something you've had to battle through to get to the other side, and it's not happened the first time, it's not happened the second time. How many times did you phone the MEN on? 10. There we go. That's resilience as a really good demonstration. Has nobody sat down yet? Well, you're all employed. Come see me on Monday. Office is in Chester. Thanks very much. Sit down. But seriously, the note there is you all could envisage things in your life that you could bring to the work environment that are really powerful. And it can be something that's like moving countries, making new friends, networking. You've got to be brave to do those things. Learning a different way of talking, as we were talking about before. I'm also Manchester born and bred from Swinton. So you've got to be able to fit into different places as well. So the chameleon bit as well. We can all do those things. So those are skills, abilities, and resources that you can take from any walk of your life and apply them to the interview process. And in fact, I actually had yesterday, I was down in London at a conference this week, and we've got a new position in the southeast for a salesperson. And the first person that came for interview, and actually I've been talking to anybody about this, one of the things is my customer base, the NHS, they don't all look like me. So when we go into the hospitals, what I want to do is have my company be able to look more like my customer area. But the people that come to me with applications are not the sorts of people I see in the room here, except for on Friday. It was brilliant. We screen CVs, but they're all anonymised. And I was very excited to meet this individual, a master's degree in medical research, turned up, and this young black woman came in, and we had them both the best interview. I nearly offered her the job on the spot. So that was the first person I've had that presented themselves to me. But it was a really good role model to see. She was absolutely the right fit for the company, the right values. She had the right education, the right skills, the equivalent of the pen and paper we were talking about before. She had everything going for her, and I hope, fingers crossed, she does well through the rest of the interview process. Go backwards. There we go. So, there are so many choices for employment. Do you work for yourself? Do you work for somebody else? Do you work for a big company, a small company, a medium company? There are so many choices. Now, I couldn't possibly go through all of them. I've worked for big medical companies, small medical companies, startups. I've been a business coach and mentor to lots of small businesses here in the Northwest. So, of all those, the one area that I really get passionate about is the small part of the small to medium-sized businesses. So, what you might hear, SMEs. How are we doing for time? Okay. I'm very conscious that I've been put on after showering before lunch. We're having a word about programming later. So what are SMEs? Small to medium sized, less than 250 employees, but interestingly, when I pull these figures together from a report from Santander, the bank, it's the business areas in the small to medium sized enterprise area, the ones that are growing, that was really interesting. So if you're going to target any SME, business administration, we've just outsourced our reception secretarial function to well, it started off as a small business, it isn't anymore. The professional, scientific and technical industries, we have in the Northwest an absolutely brilliant industry in research and development. You know, the technology, the inventions, the discoveries coming out of Manchester University, up the M62 in Liverpool, Alderley Edge, down at Daresbury, Warrington, just brilliant. IT and communications, there was a company that came in to present for us on Tuesday last week, Chess Communications, they're Northwest based. The health industry, part of my business, and transport and storage. So if you're looking for SMEs, have a look at these particular sectors. Small businesses, not the S and the M, but just the S, account for 99.3% of all private sector businesses when this survey was done in 2008. That's nearly all businesses, small businesses. What a great opportunity for going in for employment, but also to think about it, your own business. I noticed a few hands earlier on when the question was asked, who'd like to start their own business? There's a lot of people out there doing it, and a lot of people succeeding. So you wouldn't be on your own if you did. And I think the other figure that I love here is from that SME environment, over half of the private sector income, turnover, revenue, whatever you want to call it, in the UK comes from these businesses, our businesses. These are the backbone of the UK economy. I'm going to skip on from that one. I don't understand that one. I don't know why I put it up there. But it's the small business side of things that I really enjoy. And the why? There are pros and cons. There we go. It's very small up there, but let me try and read through a few of those. Why do I love being part of a small business? It's the ability to make decisions. It's the visibility. Is that everybody in my business of 18 people, 20 by the end of the year, fingers crossed, everybody's got an important part to play. There is no hiding. Everybody's responsible and accountable for delivering and adding something to the business. And everybody relies on each other. It's like a big family. 2 weeks ago we had our annual team meeting. We went to Nunsmere Hall in Cheshire. And to see what effectively was a large family, because they all rely on each other, they all trust each other, having a drink, celebrating the awards, it was just a fantastic thing. So, small businesses are for those people who do enjoy accountability. And everybody makes a real contribution, I mentioned that. But you also get exposed to a lot of different functions. So the person who looks after HR in my business doesn't only look after HR. She also organises the team meeting I talked about. She also organises the technical service. She also organises putting the blinds up in the windows at the side. She gets exposed to so many different things. Her ability to look across the business is fantastic. You don't get that in the bigger companies. You get your box and you stay in your box. There are a few cons. Nobody really recognises APC cardiovascular. We don't do global advertising, so you might have to explain to your friends and family exactly what you do. But you've always got to remember that all these companies started off with one or two enthusiastic, passionate, resilient, intelligent, creative people. And they're the biggest companies on the face of the planet with the richest people running it. So you just never know where it might end up. So the other thing I want to, it's the self-belief thing as well. And one thing I've been absolutely bowled over by everybody in this room, you are awesome. Thank you for having me. And I'm going to hand back to Claire.
Okay, so we're going to have some questions for Stephen, but Sharon wanted to say something very quickly first.
I just want to say a huge thank you to you, Stephen, because when we were in the planning for this event, we are really passionate about serving the community across the city region. And Stephen, and all of the speakers, but I'm highlighting him because he is the one white male in the room. And he was absolutely passionate about being here. And he was so keen to ensure that he provided quality content, that he arranged a meeting with myself and Claire to really think about who was going to be in the room and ensure that the material that he served up for you today would be relevant for you, to enhance you and to empower you. So I just wanted to say huge thank you for how vested you are, because like everyone else, you've given us your time today. So thank you.
Any questions for Stephen, please?
I'm a co-founder of M&O Coaching and Mentoring Service with my husband, and we struggle to work together as a married couple. We're still married 23 years later, but I had to step back a little because we were struggling with working together in business. Do you have any tips on how to work together with partners, I don't know, friends, and how to do it well?
It is a good question, and yeah, my wife and myself, we've been working together now for 12 years. I think the thing that we've had has been, and we recognise it, is very, very clear roles and responsibilities. And when we start to step outside and interfere with each other's, well, basically when I try and tell her what to do, I get very squarely put back in the box, which is a good thing. Thank you for your advice, Stephen. I shall take it into advisement and we'll move on. And she ignores it and does what she was going to do anyway, which is fine. But we do have regular meetings, and I think our board meetings are structured enough. Even if it's just the two of us and an outside person, and we have set agendas, I think that role description and responsibilities of what Amanda brings to the business as operations director, she looks after the things in the office, and to date, I've just been really, even though I'm a managing director, really just driving the sales income side. So between the two of us, we also have very complementary skills. Yeah, she's very organised. She does things in a certain way. It's very pragmatic. She does a lot of evaluation and evaluates options, a lot of information gathering. Basically, I don't. So she does that bit, and then I go out there and do a lot of the execution. And I think that's the key to it for us. And also having that ability to disagree, get angry with each other, and know that's that, but actually behind the scenes, we love each other dearly, and that's about it. But it's always knowing at the end of the night that you're going to come together and sit down and always make sure that they all don't go to sleep angry, and always have a kiss goodnight. That line between, there isn't a line between home life, in so much so that we have our business set up in the same building. So one area so we have the team come in, it's an awful word. We have the team come in, about half a dozen people in the office, the rest of the people are around the country, and then we live next door, which is really good, but it means that it's really difficult to switch off. But I don't mind. I don't mind.
We are looking for white British speakers to speak at our couples events. For what you've just shared, they are really good tips in how to have a strong marriage. And I'd like to have a chat with you at the end to offer you a job. But it's voluntary, it's not paid.
School.
Could you share about, you said you've been running your business for 8 years, you were focused on the sales. Do you have any kind of sales strategies, tips that you could share in terms of business growth?
You know, if there were a silver bullet for a sales strategy, I wouldn't be standing here right now. I would be owning my own island somewhere. You wouldn't see. But I think what keeps me going, and it's the way that I do business, and it's not the same business model for all different areas. I'm not a Ryanair, I'm not an Amazon, even in the small area that we're in. The area that I look at is about looking after our customers and really getting into the mindset of what do they want. And I think if there's anything that we do, it's about having the building, well, our purpose statement is building trust, loyalty and a great reputation with everybody that we work with. And that's what drives us. So I put that into every single corner of our business. I recruit my people on the same line. If you're not able to build a relationship through good emotional intelligence, through good empathy, through brilliant listening skills, then you're not for my company. That doesn't mean to say you're not good, it just means you're better off somewhere else. So I think our sales success is around understanding my suppliers, understanding my customers, and the other stakeholders. So what that translates to out in the field when I coach my salespeople is ask loads of questions and really listen well. That's probably the foundation for any good sales relationship.
Any more questions for Stephen?
You seem someone who's on an even keel, quite a calm person. So I wanted to know, in your business life, what have you had to challenge to overcome and how you've done it? What's the challenge, how you've overcome it?
It's amazing the masks that we can wear, isn't it? When you put it on the outside. That's another skill as well, is being able to, in the inside and then look on the outside. But the loss of hair. Yeah, exactly. Right. But no, that aside, I think that the. What was the question again? It's about keeping the even keel. Oh, the challenges. Yeah, and I think that if I go back to the roots, this is turning into therapy, I like this. If I go back to the roots of this, it comes with probably an overdeveloped sense of self-confidence that was given to me by my mum, who really overate it a little bit. So when I hit the real world, it was a bit of a shock. I wasn't as brilliant as I thought I was. But a lot of that has stayed with me, and I think that self-belief that it's all good, even when it's bad, it's all right, it's a learning opportunity. And I think that's what's kept me going. I've had brilliant people around me, good accountants, good lawyers, but I think it's having, being networked, being grounded, I think is the phrase, with having good people around. And failure is never an option. It's just all about learning, you know. That's about it, really. It's okay. So it's my mum's fault.